This year's Volunteer of the Year for North Canterbury Fish and Game is Honorary Ranger Tony Helms. One of the highlights of our 2022-23 year was the Trout Festival, attended by over 200 anglers. We've also increased our compliance efforts, and we've held another successful Lake Coleridge competition, and we now have all the data from previous competitions online. Our salmon season has been a good hit. We've had lots of our how-to salmon videos viewed, and we undertook our normal clean-up for Te Waihoara Lake Ellesmere. We've also supported the wider Fish and Game organisation by holding a hunting and fishing forum here, and we hosted the Game Bird Habitat Trust here. The High Country Wetland and Waterways project has gone from strength to strength, and these are the successes of the program for this year. One of the key points is our project goals have been exceeded. We have now a large area of land protected in the Upper Rakaia, which is vitally important for our sea-run salmon spawning. North Canterbury Fish and Game was also the star of a stuff.co.nz visual expose on the science behind the salmon, which will start now.
Once the machine's gone past, you always got to look back, so you can generally pick them out from trout. We were counting salmon in the head of the Rakaia in a variety of spawning streams. So the reason why we do it is so we can calculate how many fish we are getting back to the spawning waters, as we have a new regulation where anglers can only keep 2 salmon for the season.
Every year when we finish the salmon flights, we put a report to council saying how many that we counted. So, right now the bag limit is 2 fish. Previously it was higher. The council uses the reports that we give them in order to make those decisions.
So the work of Harry counting fish out of helicopter and Heather and the math side of things is to give us the best possible numbers so that we can make informed decisions about whether we raise or lower the bag limits.
You're in a helicopter and you're trying to stay as close to the spawning stream as possible. A lot of these spawning streams are really windy. So just, from the perspective of being the person in the helicopter, you can get really nauseous. Amongst other things, you've got the wind blowing back in your face. It's certainly a challenge to count those fish and to make sure that you count as many as possible, consistently as possible.
Gives us a better understanding how many salmon are actually in the river and what's getting taken by anglers and what's getting to the spawning waters, so we can regulate. Hopefully into the future we can allow anglers to take more fish.
We used to make changes based on yearly returns, but that was counterproductive and not good science. So now we use a rolling 3-year average, and we have threshold levels. So if we get above X number of fish returning, then the bag limit would increase by 1, or if it decreases to a point where it's getting lower, then the bag limit would decrease by 1.
When we harvest fish, when we change stream flow, when we take all these management activities, that does have an effect on wildlife populations. And so because we're taking actions that have effects, it's really important to monitor those effects and to be able to predict in the future, what effects our actions going to have and how can we take the best actions given that knowledge.
The only thing that we always keep in mind is that we do all of this so we can ensure the sustainability of the sea-run salmon population in Canterbury, so that anglers now and in the future can enjoy the chance to go salmon fishing.